Let's do it. Okay, so we are here another week of Content Confidence Weekly Live. This week, and our main focus overall is to provide information with CEOs to help bridge the gap between what's going on in with the young millennials and Gen Z, and how it can shape their business, and the importance of coming on camera with your content, and also having a thoughtful, strategic, and organic content strategy. Rachel here is a camera confidence coach for CEOs and many more, plenty of a variety of people under that umbrella. And then I myself am a content strategist. So we're going to dive in. And our first thing is that I like to see myself as a tester of all things social media. I post frequently on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook is cut now. There we go. It's okay. There we go. I feel like I get the chance to save a lot of founders and CEOs time from anyone who needs to create content, is looking to start a content journey. I get to save you time because I go out and test the things that they say will help grow your account, help get you business, help you scale, when I actually get the chance to put that to work so you don't have to waste your time. So this is where you come for the answers. And with that, Rachel and I, we're going to give an update on our social and what we've been doing in social media since the last time we spoke. So Rachel, take it away. How are things going with you and your social? What are your updates? Yeah, take it away.
So I think a lot of times, because I'm starting to grow a new page, which I started in January of this year. And I think that it's one thing to embrace is that it's okay to pivot. And one thing I love about social media is that you can reintroduce yourself at any point that you want, and reinvent what you want it to look like at any point that you want. So embracing that. And then in that, like, because your life is an evolution, right? And you treat every aspect of your life as an evolution as well. You grow, you get better at different things, and you learn. So I think that treating your social media platforms like that as well has given me the confidence, I guess, to look at what's working and what's not, and find my voice within my new page.
I love it. I think that's well put, and really on the nose to how I'm feeling, really what all of June was for me. And it's the same thing. Like I honestly can't even say it any better. It's pivoting. I feel like I got a chance to try a lot of different forms of content. And at the end of the day, I was able to see that when I was trying to do, whether it was a different style of content, a different amount of content that I was doing, ultimately, if I wasn't trying to speak to my target audience in a way that was going to provide them value, it wasn't even that it was pointless per se, but I also have to package it in a way that they were ready to receive it. So my pivoting is allowing myself to have more time to create the content so that I can deliver it to them in a way that they want to consume it, in a way that's also going to be valuable. And that's my pivot, in that I am ready to kind of just package my content differently so that it can actually provide value to the people that I'm speaking. Because before it was that was still my intention, even with the lives and chopping them up, but that only works on a certain platform, those kind of shorts. For value, for those who are listening to the full long form version of this, that means those who are on, for example, these shorts of these did well on YouTube, so they're going to continue to go there. But on Instagram, it was a different story, and then also on LinkedIn. But more to what Rachel was saying is listening and looking at the data, which we do. That's strategy in itself is paying attention to what works and then listening to that. And so you're going to constantly pivot, and we will have no choice but to continue to pivot. Even once we start this, it'll be something else next week and the week after that, because it's a never ending cycle. And that's why, yeah, it's helpful to have an ear to the ground and others who are in that with you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and continuing the conversation, because at the end of the day, it's engagement with your audience that's understanding what they want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. Yes. And so I think that's perfect. I mean, that's it for our social update there. Now let's go into the next thing, and that is Arizona iced tea, the motto of a CEO. Take it away. I know Rachel, she mentioned, we were like, what are we going to talk about today? Like, what's happening in the latest news of social media that's going to benefit a CEO that we can learn from. And Rachel brought up the Arizona iced tea guy owner, and I was like, oh yeah, that's perfect. I saw that, it came across my feed. So dive in. Let's give them a backstory. Rachel, tell them about that.
Yeah, so the CEO of Arizona Iced Tea recently did an interview with the Today Show, and it was talking about their business model and how he's very family oriented. Also, fun fact, he's never used a cell phone, never opened up a laptop. Like, he's very old school. But I think what's so cool is that their prices have not changed since they opened in 1992, I want to say. So over 30 years, 99 cents is a steal. And their branding is very amazing. His wife designed it, designed like I would say the famous designs that we know. And it they had said that it came from her son, who had a coloring book with cherry blossoms on them, and then I think the bathroom was the teal color, and they put them together and it just works. So I love that aspect. And also they were discussing how it's such a family oriented place that every day they have 2-hour boardroom meetings, and it's like family dinner style, so they eat. And his sons are both C-suite level executives in the company. So he's having lunch with his sons.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I
Love
love
that.
it. But
Yeah.
the big thing for me is the fact that he does not have any intention to raise the price. And that's his way of giving back to the community, because they're a debt-free company. So why not do that for people?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I love that approach. And I also love too that, you know, this just came to me, but for him as a CEO, you mentioned that he's not on, he doesn't have a laptop. He doesn't have, you know, he's not very tech savvy or tech involved rather, and that doesn't seem to want to immerse that into his life because he doesn't have to. I think that is very much like a lot of other CEOs, and I just want to take a minute to like show that spectrum of like, if your company was already built at a time when you didn't need to have phones and you didn't need to, have laptops to be successful, it was based on your network and your network alone. When now, with places like LinkedIn and really all other social media platforms, but more specifically LinkedIn, where your network is online, you showing yourself and showing up online is how you build your network and grow companies that can make change, like Arizona iced tea. And I think we're missing that factor. And even with a lot of the bigger companies who, for example, oh, that would be a good one. We're going to have to talk about that. I'm going to put that down for another time, but Duolingo is a really good one in that they keep up while they've been around for a while now. They've had to like rebrand themselves and get to a place where, okay, they wanted to scale more. And so this is how they went about it. But I'll just say, we'll put that to bed for another time. But yes, I think it's important to realize that we're in a time where you have to show up for yourself on social media. And that's a part of building your network to,
Yeah.
build a scalable company.
One
Yeah.
thing that I would like to add about that is that, sure, he's not the tech savvy person, but he still built the bridge, right? Like, he still showed up as the interview as the CEO. He has a team. I believe one of his sons is the creative director or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe the other one is marketing. Don't quote me. But the sense of like, if you don't want to be that person, then you still have to have someone be that person to
Mhm.
build the bridge to
Mhm.
get out there.
Mhm.
They have merch too, which I did not know.
Oh, they have merch. Interesting. Interesting. And see, and I wonder too, like what I would do with Arizona iced tea, because like I don't see them on TikTok. I don't see them. And I wonder for them with a company like Arizona iced tea, like what are you doing to connect with the younger generation? One being the prices, even with his today interview, it was today news that he was on,
Yep.
even with his interview, taking that time to like, okay, we've kept our prices at $9.99. We both saw this content, right? Us young millennials saw that content, and to where we're talking about it today. I would have loved to have a CTA of like, well, that's cool that he has merch, but like some new launch to rebrand. That was a great
There,
opportunity.
there
That
is a new flavor.
what is it? Okay, a new flavor. Okay, all right. And see, I'm like, okay, that's cool, but then it's like, what else could they have done to really like, especially reach the younger generation too? And so, for example, putting the merch on something like TikTok's shop and getting, you know what I mean? Like, I just wonder what their plan is to go past just us to keep the longevity of their business. One being the great concept, I think that's very helpful. The 9.99, keeping the 9.99 price. Wait, 99 price. There you go. Yes, and so I just wonder what they're doing to help themselves stay alive in the long term. So, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed also the good interview. He was
Yeah.
good, great on camera.
Yeah, yeah, and with being great on camera, tell me about. Do you have any, thoughts, any tips that you would want to give a CEO as you're focused on camera confidence? Like, what were things about his interview for you as a camera confidence coach that stood out that you would want to share with someone watching this video?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be very basic, but it's the fact that he was just himself.
Mm,
And the way that the story was itself put together, it moved very quickly. But he was just like, I am this person. I don't do technology, and we are true to our brand, and we don't want to change our prices. And it's just like you got to respect that, right? Like he
mhm,
just showed up as himself, and it was just very entertaining to watch.
mhm, mhm. And what would you say to someone who feels like, oh, well, he was great because he was himself. I want to be great. I don't quite like myself like that. You know what I mean? Or I don't think people will like me like that. What would you say?
Yeah, I think in terms of interviews, it is the interviewer's job to make people feel so comfortable that they forget they're being recorded. So
Mhm.
I think that I'm not saying that it is a burden for the interviewer, the journalist, but that's part of the job.
I want to touch on that a little bit. I think that especially for CEOs, founders who are creating content, like I've had a client who's posting on LinkedIn, and this is our last topic for today, which is that TikTok approach to LinkedIn, and it segues perfectly, which is that a lot of CEOs and founders, they'll like to do the Zoom kind of content where they're talking in a Zoom and they're answering questions. And it's this whole model and it's a strategy too that plays well, but not if you're not talking to the right person. So it's surrounding yourself with the right people, one who are going to ask the right questions and not the kind of questions that are going to keep it at a C-suite level lingo that you guys are used to, but a level that a kindergartner could listen into, and then you still get the answer. And so, but also that comfortability aspect to make sure that you're warm and not so, what's the word? Just there's a
Reserved.
line between reserved. Yeah, I was about to say professional, but yeah, so reserved to where it takes away the human aspect. It makes it boring. And when that happens, you can make a minute of content feel like an hour. And people
Mhm.
see that in the first 5 seconds and they scroll. With a hook, you could have all the right things, but a lot of it is about creating that environment. And I think that is, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's it's the energy that you project when you're speaking and when you're showing up that really matters.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I think that's it for today. Super
Yeah.
sweet. I hope it was very valuable to anyone that's watching. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to check out Rachel. I'm going to, as I have in our previous video, put the link in the description where you can reach out to her. It's her Instagram that I have there, but in her Instagram bio, you'll also have a link to her website. And then same thing for me, you'll have a link to my website and whatever social platform you want to connect with me on. And let's just stay connected. I hope that you found value in this, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. See ya.